What's up, everybody? On today's episode of The Fight Life, we were on location at Lion Fights 14 at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. We got a couple of interviews down there, and then the very next day we were at World Series of Fighting 9, which featured a couple of the local fighters, and we got a couple interviews there as well. We also brought in Mark Dickman, who's going to be fighting at the RFA on April 11th. He's going to be co-main event status up there. So we brought him into the studio, talked a little bit about his upcoming fight and what it was like getting into mixed martial arts. So stay tuned. We're going to bring you all the highlights from those two events and the interview with Mark Dickman. What's up, everybody? It's Flip from Fight Life Media. We are down at the joint at the Hard Rock. Basically, we're covering Lion Fights tonight, but we are here with Zach Sharaga of Alibi American Whiskey and Michael Pine of Talon Partnerships and Events. Zach, Alibi American Whiskey was a sponsor of the co-main event between Chris Cyborg and Yorina Bars. You know, tell us why did you choose to sponsor Muay Thai?
Alibi American Whiskey and Muay Thai are just perfectly aligned. The demographics are really in line together. The rapid growth of Muay Thai in this country is a long time coming, and Alibi American Whiskey is going to be right up there with that.
So a lot of people thought that Chris Cyborg was going to come in and clean house. Yorina Bars obviously took it to her and wound up going home with the belt. What were your thoughts on the matchup?
I thought Cyborg came out there real hard. Yorina really took a turn in the middle of the round, in the middle of second or third round, and really took that fight for herself. She came out and she really earned that belt.
So now that you've moved into combat sports, you moved into Muay Thai, let's talk a little bit about your brand and where people can find it if they're looking into getting Alibi American Whiskey.
Alibi American Whiskey right now is in over 40 states. We're all over Las Vegas, a lot of the nightclubs in town, primarily the light nightclubs, the light group. There's some properties right here, Ainsworth at the Hard Rock is a big sponsor and a big supporter of Alibi American Whiskey, so you can definitely find that here in this hotel.
So, Mr. Pine.
Yes, sir.
So, it's not your first rodeo in combat sports. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been in sports and entertainment. I ran the sales for Dana White and Lorenzo for 4.5 years, responsible for the Bud Light, Harley Davidson, and Bacardi deals that you see on the Octagon today. Try to leverage that into what I'm doing with Lion Fight. Great partners like Zach. I mean, I love working with guys like this who are passionate about their brand and also what it can bring to the fights themselves. So really fortunate to align with him tonight.
So, you know, tell us a little bit about Talon and what it is that you guys do for people out there that aren't really too sure.
Sure. So we started Talon in November. I ran all the sales for World Wrestling Entertainment with Vince McMahon for the last 8-9 months and had an opportunity to start my own thing. So instead of going back to work for someone else, I started my own company. Alibi is the first real partner that we brought on board in the mixed martial arts space. Very fortunate to do that with them, with Panache Spirits, a phenomenal company to get on board with, and hope to grow this partnership even further. So, all right,
perfect. Well, guys, that's going to be it from Lion Fights tonight. Make sure you guys check out. We're going to be at World Series of Fighting tomorrow, so we got a lot more coming for you. What's up, everybody? We're here with Chidi Bang Jaquani. We are at Lion Fights down at the joint. So you're coming back to your first love, Muay Thai, checking out the fights. What were your thoughts tonight?
I loved it, man. I love the fights, period, 100%. I came here to support my boy Anthony Pretty Boy Cassius-Jones. A little disappointed about how the fight went, but other than that, the whole card was sick, bro. Even the Cyborg fight, that was like the fight of the night, period, hands down.
So I thought Malapit could have been fight of the night. What were your thoughts on that one?
It actually could have been. I forgot all about them. I don't know why I did. But it's a tie, like head-to-head, Malapit and Cyborg. But I'll still give it to Cyborg's fight. Yeah, that was dope, bro, because they're both dropping each other, man. Like, I got to give it to the women, man. I love seeing women really just showcase their Muay Thai skills and like, show, like, real legit Muay Thai instead of just swinging and whoever dropped first. Like, I don't like that. Tonight, they actually showcased, like, really what Muay Thai is about in the women's division. And I loved it. It was cool.
So I guess my question for you is, if you had to choose a style, which one did you like more? Was it Yorina's style or Cyborg's style?
Urina's, hands down. She's a taller. I'm always rooting for the taller, lankier fighter because I'm the taller, lankier fighter. So I just hope they pull it off some way, somehow. The whole time I really thought that Cyborg was about to just fucking knock her head into the third row, but I mean, I was pulling for the other chick, man. Like that was since the beginning, since I knew that the fight was going down, I was pulling for her, and I'm glad she pulled it off. I'm glad she got the belt.
You know, I think a lot of people underestimate the Dutch strikers, especially now that Lion Fights and some of these promotions are taking off. We're so used to seeing the people from Thailand, but you don't see too many of the Dutch strikers, so I think that it was something that was a little bit different. Cyborg's a big name, obviously, right? So, you know, what were your thoughts before the fight actually took place? Did you have Cyborg pegged?
Yeah, no, I did have Cyborg picked. I'm not trying to say I didn't want her to win, but I did have her. I had her picked. But styles do make fights, man, and I'm not trying to say that the Dutch style is the best style, but that was the style to win tonight. And that's what took the W.
So you just came off of a controversial fight. Yeah. So what do they tell you down at RFA? Are you gonna get a rematch on that one, or what's gonna happen there?
Nothing set, man. Nothing set. But I'm just looking forward to something in end of May, early June, maybe in the Las Vegas, California area. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yo, everybody, you guys need to get Cheaty Bang on a card as soon as possible. I think that, you know, man, I think it was a wrong call on your fight. That's my own personal opinion, but hey, it happens.
I won't say nothing, man, but shit happen. Things happen. Shit happens. It's like, it's kind of you got to go with the stride, man. Like whatever happens, happens, and just work your way from the top, from the bottom. I feel like I messed up, and that knocked me down a few levels. Even though a lot of people feel like I should have overturned it to, or at least fought for an overturn and got it ruled in my favor as a TKO, I still feel like I didn't win. I feel like I got knocked down a few notches. And so for me, all I got to do is just work my way back up to the top. So things happen the wrong way a lot of times. So all I got to do is work my way back up to the top.
I'm very confident that you will, man. One of my favorite fighters. So tomorrow night, World Series of Fighting. Got Danny D1 Davis throwing down with Phil Dace. You fought Phil Dace. Who do you think is going to win tomorrow night on that one?
I fought Phil Dace, and Danny's my boy, so I just hope for a good fight. I'm not picking any sides, man. I love Danny like a brother. He's actually like one of my boys, man. Like a close homie. He's one of the boys that I really first kicked it with when I first came to Vegas, man. So I'm always hoping for him to win, but I do like Phil, so I'm not gonna try to root against him on camera. But like real talk though, like I just hope it's a good fight. I hope they go out there and have fun and showcase their welterweight division, and let everybody know that they got some skills to reckon with.
All right, guys. Cheaty Bang Jaquani, Lion Fights at the Joint. We'll see you guys tomorrow with the stuff from World Series of Fighting. Maybe we'll get some shots of you in the crowd getting kind of anxious.
How's it going, everybody? Today's in-studio guest on The Fight Life is Mark Dickman. He's going to be fighting at RFA 14 against Heoni Barcelos, and it's a co-main event of the evening, and the winner of this is actually going to get a shot at the RFA title. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, let's talk a little bit about this upcoming matchup and your opponent.
Well, where do you want to start?
Tell us a little bit about what you know about your opponent.
Well, his name's Heoni Barcelos. I believe he's a no-gi brown belt world champion. He wrestled for the Brazilian national wrestling team. My jiu-jitsu coach, Sergio Pena, actually trained at Osvaldo School, I believe, with his father. So they were teammates before, so they kind of come from the same type of background and lineage from BJJ. So I know he's undefeated, and he's not afraid to fight anybody. So I think he's very well rounded, and but he's a heavy grappler, and he's going to come to fight.
I've seen you in grappling tournaments before. I've seen you grapple against some of the top guys in the world, or even in mixed martial arts. How do you feel you're going to match up against him in jiu-jitsu wise?
When I watched his last fight against Tyler Toner, I mean, the fight was taken on short notice. I think he played it safe. He could have finished him. So I don't know how this is going to be. Every fight's going to be different. But from what I saw, he is, he doesn't mix it up real well on the ground, and he just was holding position. Toner's not real great on the ground, but I think that's where we're going to differ. And I think American wrestling is going to be better than Brazilian wrestling any day.
So that, let's talk a little bit about your background and how you got started in mixed martial arts, so that everybody can know a little bit about who you are.
How far you want me to go back?
Far back as you remember.
All right. Well, this whole dream started because of wrestling, and I was in middle school, and I lived real close to home, and so I would just hang out after school, and one of my friends, Louis Doran, was like, and he lived real close, so we'd walk home together, and he'd be like, hey, let's go sign up for wrestling. And so we went to the science room, gave our information down, and then 2 weeks later we went to practice, and then I ended up loving it, and he quit a week later. And then, it turned into a great high school career, and then I went on to college, and then I had a lot of teammates that were going into this, and I just decided that I was going to give it a shot. So,
some of those teammates are Ultimate Fighter alumni and a couple other guys. Talk a little bit about what it was like being with some of those guys through college.
It was we had a great team, and just a lot of high level. I remember we'd be in a shark drill wrestling group, and I'd have 4 national champs in my group. I mean, if you didn't strap it up that day, I mean, you were going to get a beat down. So, I mean, to compete in a wrestling room like that, and I think that's going to translate over to anything else, and I think it's translating over to their careers, and and mine.
Now, a lot of people talk about how wrestling is probably one of the best bases to prepare you mentally and physically for combat sports, or even to move forward into something like MMA. Tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are on that.
I totally agree. It's different because, like other sports like basketball, football, they train and stuff, and they have to think about plays and stuff, and we also have to think about technique and stuff, but we have to think about our diet when we go home. So it's like our mental ability to be focused is our attention span is much longer than most other disciplines or other sports, I think. So it teaches us to be disciplined and mentally tough. And whenever we have matches, we have sometimes we'll have 8, sometimes we'll have 4 if you stay on the top side, but you have to adjust every match to a different style. So that's also going to help you, when you're in between rounds, adjusting. It's going to help you change within. I think that helps wrestlers have be a step ahead, when they're making that transition into MMA.
Now, MMA seems to be the natural transition for wrestling. Obviously, nobody gets paid from wrestling. So,
You got to win a world title or an Olympic title, but I mean that's just a small percentage.
Yeah, and that's not anything significant like it is for mixed martial arts. So, let's talk a little bit about what your transition was like going from collegiate wrestling into mixed martial arts.
Luckily, I had a good friend, and he didn't charge me a lot of rent, so I could really focus and train all day. And I worked 2 jobs. I was working at the YMCA, delivering pizzas and personal training people, and just to make ends meet. But it was hard, getting paid nothing but gas money in a hotel room and putting your life on the line, basically in a cage, to get to where I'm at right now. For the first 4 years it was like that, it's. But I don't think you really can make it unless you struggled a little bit. So I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't want to do it another way.
Now, right now you're out of the famed One Kicks gym here in Vegas, and I believe you're with Sergio Pena as well.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about the coaches that you have and the team that you have getting you prepared for the fight.
One Kicks gym, and I think they're one of the original Muay Thai gyms in Las Vegas, and Sergio Pena has been around since the Combat Club, and they're a real small group, and they only deal with certain people, and if you're a part of their group, they treat you like family, and that's kind of what I like.
Now, what can we expect to see, come RFA 14 for that fight?
Well, there's 2 hungry guys, and the next guy that gets past this is going to be a #1 contender. So, expect a tough fight because we're both we're good at striking and we're good on the ground. So who knows where it's going to go? It could stay on the feet, but it also could go on the ground. So whatever he gives me is going to depend on where it goes. So I can't really tell you. I'm not really good at predictions, but I just know it's going to be a tough fight anywhere we go.
Now, you are fighting in Cheyenne, so just give us a quick rundown of the day and the place, because I do know that there are a few people from Cheyenne that do watch the show.
So the fight is April 11th in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I believe you can go online to cagetix.com, and there's a lot of information on there, or the rfafighting.com, and you can get all the information there. So April 11th, RFA 14, co-main event, Dickman versus Barcelos.
All right, guys. So we want to take time to basically thank you for being on, man. We really appreciate you taking the time to tell us a little bit about your journey into mixed martial arts, and we look forward to seeing what you do with the rest of your career.
All right, man.
So,
Thanks
awesome,
for having
man.
me.
Thank you. All right, guys. Mark Dickman.
What's up, everybody? We are outside of the joint at World Series of Fighting with Danny D1 Davis. Had a great win over Phil Dace. Tell us about your fight, man.
Man, it was an awesome fight. It's been about 10 months since I've been in the cage. I got to work all aspects of the game, stand up, takedowns, wrestling, ground and pound, clinch work against the fence. Just felt really good to be back in there and have a dominant performance over a very durable and excellent opponent.
Last time I saw you fight, you had a really, really close fight with Chris Kennedy. I noticed vast improvement from last time to this time. Let's talk about what you did differently or leading up to this fight, or even the training, that we were able to see those kind of improvements out of you.
Well, I stay in the gym. A lot of fighters take a lot of time off between fights. I'm right back at it, and I want to always improve every week, every day, working my holds, working my fitness. But one of the key things has been Robert Fawless, my head coach right now. He's been able to help me piece it all together. I've been a great jiu-jitsu artist with Robert Drives. I'm a brown belt under him. I've been a 4-time amateur Muay Thai champion, so my standard's pretty good. Kyle Griffin's been helping my wrestling game out tremendously. But Robert Fawless has helped me put it all together, make it flow together seamlessly, and now I fight as a mixed martial artist, not a compartmentalized fighter.
Now, I always ask a lot of the fighters that have been in Extreme Couture since Fawless has come down, Let's talk about the impact that he's had on your training, aside from him putting everything together, but what else has he done that impacts your training and making you stand out a little more this time?
Man, the man's a natural leader. You know, he knows how to lead people. He knows how to communicate properly. He knows what fighters have what emotions, he just knows how to work with fighters. He's been in the game a very long time, arguably one of the top 3 best MMA coaches in the world. And, man, he stepped into Extreme Couture and took lead, took charge, made it more professional. All those fighters are now professional. We got to be on time for training or we pay the price, And before it was, at least for myself, I was a little laissez-faire, show up when I want to show up, and et cetera, et cetera. But now everything's on point, So we got to be on time. We got to be sharp and smart. And Robert Fallis has really helped lead the way.
So we just saw your World Series of Fighting. What's next for you? What do you want to accomplish this year as far as being a fighter?
Oh, man, I would love for that call from the World Series of Fighting for the next fight. We're ready, whether it be 30 days, 60, or even if we got to wait the 90 days. I'm ready for the next opponent. I'm ready to take a step up the ladder. I'm a veteran in the game, but I'm a newbie to the big show. So, man, I just waited for that call, see what's next, whatever it is. I'm ready to take it. And, worst case scenario, I would like to be in title contention by the end of this year.
All right, perfect. So there we go, guys. Danny D1 Davis, Extreme Couture fighter.
/scrapper.
Right. Make sure you guys find actually, where can they find your music?
Man, you can look online, datpiff.com. You can just Google D1LV. You find it everywhere, man. I've been doing this stuff for a long time, and I really appreciate all the fans, all my family, all the support. Much love.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Danny D1 Davis, rapper /scrapper, and Fight Life Flip from World Series of Fighting.
Life.
Begging you don't turn no shooter, yo. Get on your face, live up, and live right. And one shine like the rainbow. Me no want no gun fi make no brain.
It is Smash time here once again on the bandwagon. I am your host as usual, Smash Fields, and I'm here to talk about WSOF. We are on location at probably one of the more premier events right now. Now, let me tell you what's happened tonight. Number one, you've got Pal Harris, who went out and had a phenomenal fight. I'm going to tell you right now, the guys who are in this organization are actually proving themselves. You have guys who have been to the UFC and guys who are trying to make it to the UFC right now. Guys like Danny D1, who you just saw recently, who came out and he did so great. He did so well in his fight. You see so many great fights that have happened. The WSOF, they're really on their way up right now. You're headed by Ray Sefo, who is a legend in the sport himself. So the guy knows all about fighting. He knows all about MMA. The guy knows what needs to be done. He knows what the fighters need. You saw so many great undercard fights. You saw a lot of main card fights. I mean, this organization might be better than one headed by, I don't know, somebody that might be at the top of the reins. But at the end of the day, we're not going to talk about who's better and who's not. We're going to talk about tonight. Tonight was electrifying. It was amazing. And I'm so glad to be able to say that I was here to see that next level event for what's happening here in MMA. WSOF is what's coming up. They're what's next. You guys have to make sure you're paying attention. You have to know what's going on now. Because me, Smash Fields, here right now, WSOF, Las Vegas at the Hard Rock Casino. I am on the bandwagon.
Thanks for watching today's episode. Once again, it was just a real quick recap of Lion Fights 14, World Series of Fighting 9. We want to thank Mark Dickman for coming down in studio and basically hanging out with us and talking about his upcoming fight at the RFA. So if you get an opportunity to watch that, make sure you definitely do. It's going to be on Access TV, so April 11th for his fight. So from Fight Life Flip, the Fight Life Media crew, we are out of here. And as always, without you, there is no us, and you are Fight Life Media.